Shalom uvracha, Yerushalayim Ir HaKodesh. This evening's study is focused on the weekly portion, Parshat Balak, this week. And I believe that the most famous of all the texts, of all the statements in Balak, is the text that we find on the opening page of many of the Ashkenazic prayer books. If you're familiar with the liturgical order in many of the Ashkenazic communities, on the first page or so you will find the text from Parashat Balak, the statement of Bilam praising the glory of the Jewish tent.
Jewish what?
Tents.
Tents?
T-E-N-T-S. The dwelling places, the habitations of the Jewish people. Matovu ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenothecha Yisrael. How beautiful are your dwelling places, Yaakov. How outstanding, how wonderful are your places of residence in the tents that the Jewish people were living in. And the question becomes, what was so impressive to Bilam, who seemed to be so moved about the dwelling places of the people of Israel? What was so outstanding? What was so beautiful about it? It doesn't seem to be the way they designed the tents. It doesn't seem to be the way they set up the furnishings of these tents. What was it? How beautiful are they? According to one rabbinic tradition, Bilam was moved by the level of respect that the people of Israel demonstrated to other people's domain of privacy. As was manifest in the Jewish dwelling places, Am Yisrael taught and fulfilled the notion of respecting other people's privacy. Rashi, on our text, quotes part of the tradition from the Gemara, from the Talmudic teaching in Tractate Bava Batra, Matovu ohalecha al shira'a pitchehem she'enan mechuvanim ze mul ze. Bilam was so praising of the tents of Jacob, for he saw that all of the dwelling places of the Jewish people, the way they set up their ohalim, the way they set up their tents, it was set up with the highest level of sensitivity. Remember, please, that we're talking about many, many hundreds of thousands of people. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people living within a confined area in the desert. And pitchehan einam mechuvanim ze lezeh. Each one set up the tent in such a way that no door faced anyone else's door. No window faced any other one's window. Because a basic aspect of Torah, a basic requirement of a Torah lifestyle, is a respect for one's neighbor's privacy. Although so many people are ever so curious to know what's really happening in his life, what's really happening in her life, although so many people are intrigued by knowing every detail in someone else's existence, Bilam took note of the fact she'ein pitchehem mechuvanim ze mul ze. For the tens of years of the multitude places of dwellings, for the 40 years in the desert, they always encamped in a way that would ensure the greatest level of privacy. To some, it is a very great test not to look into someone else's window, not to see that which is none of your business. Matovu ohalecha Yaakov. Am Yisrael prides itself in its level of spiritual excellence. No one invaded the tzniut privacy of the other one's home or life. Is it really our business what's cooking, literally cooking, figuratively cooking, in someone else's life? Are we to know that? Not if we're students of Matovu, my great second grade teacher. May she be blessed wherever she is. Her name is Mrs. Simon. If someone can send her regards, I don't know where she is. May she be blessed. I was about 6 years old, maybe 7 years old, when Mrs. Simon used to repeatedly teach us. M-Y-O-B. Maybe she said it specifically to me. Mordechai, M-Y-O-B. M-Y-O-B. Mind your own business. That was her teaching. I think that M-Y-O-B, the great teaching of Mrs. Simon, is the teaching of the Torah, is the aspect of Bilam's observation of Matovu Ohalecha Yaakov. They were able to mind their own business. But besides the literal meaning of this rabbinic teaching, I also take it to mean that no one's home had to face anyone else's home. She'ein pitchehem mechuvanim could mean that everyone was satisfied with their own home. They weren't living mechuvanim. They weren't constantly seeing what's going on somewhere else and then deciding whether their home is okay. For everyone was aware of the greatness of their own individual home. Lo tahmod beit re'echa, the 10th of the 10 Commandments, which according to some is the most difficult of all 10 to observe. Do not covet someone else's home. They were satisfied with their own homes. They weren't constantly comparing and contrasting their home or their life to someone else's home, for they were smehem b'chelkam. They were satisfied with their own lot. They were satisfied with their own plight. They were proud of their own families. They were proud of their husbands, and they were proud of their wives. They were proud of their children. They were proud of their professions. They were proud of their own accomplishments. They didn't need to look elsewhere for the Jewish home taught the residents of that home to be happy in their own homes. Lo tachmod kol asher l're'echa. Anything which belongs to someone else, don't desire it. Don't be jealous of it. Don't covet it. Our obligation to respect others relates to the laws of eavesdropping, of listening to conversations which are none of our business. Relates to the laws of standing too close, let's say in a bank, and you just move up ever so close to the teller to see what's happening in someone else's banking business. And that's an invasion of Matovu Ohalecha Yaakov. If you, God forbid, read someone else's email, and you figured out, I don't know, they left their computer on, and you read a message that someone sent them, it's not your business. You can't read someone else's mail. That's a violation of Torah. It's a violation of Matovu Ohalecha Yaakov. Rabbeinu Gershom, he went to an extreme. He put people in excommunication for reading someone else's mail. Not really our business to keep a chart of when they enter their home, when they leave their home, where they're going, what they're. It's not our business. That's the opposite of Matovu Ohalecha Yaakov. We are not entitled to know the personal happenings of their social life or of their medical life, because Bilam noticed that the Jewish people have created this beautiful Jewish home sensitivity level. Thank you so much for listening.